Okay, first, I know that life can be hard when your Mac desktop looks like this. In the first few years of using my Mac, my desktop was also permanently cluttered with hundreds of screenshots that I only needed once but never remembered to delete. That is until I discovered two easy fixes that have kept my desktop looking clean and organized. The first fix is simple. After taking a screenshot, don't ignore this little screenshot preview window in the bottom right corner. Instead, right-click on it and select Save to Clipboard. This way you can paste the screenshot wherever you need it without it being saved as a file to your Mac. If you prefer to have a saved version of your screenshots for later usage, I'd recommend changing the saving location. Hit Command, Shift and 5 on your keyboard to bring up the floating screenshot toolbar. Click on Options and then check out the Save To category at the top. From there, you can choose a new folder where your screenshots will be saved. Personally, I find the Downloads folder to be the most useful. I can quickly drag the screenshot from my dock into my document or wherever I want to share it. And just like that, my desktop stays clean and organized. Alright, next takeaway, Quick Look is one of the most underrated features of macOS. Let me explain. To use it, all you have to do is select a file and then press the spacebar. You get a quick glance of the file's content, in this case a Word document, without having to open it in the actual Word application. And it gets even better. If you use Quick Look to preview images or PDFs, you can share it, rotate the file, or even annotate it using those annotation tools here, without ever actually opening it in an app. And Quick Look isn't just useful in the Finder. You can also use it in Spotlight Search to preview a file or even a website without leaving the search results. Or if you receive an email with an attachment, you can use Quick Look to glance at it without leaving your inbox. Unbelievably useful. At least as useful as the amazing toolbar customization options, which I just discovered recently on my Mac. Let's have a look. The toolbar is present in almost any native Mac app like Safari, Notes, Pages, or the Finder. Wherever you find it, you can customize it to your liking. For instance, in the Finder, you can go to View and then Customize Toolbar to drag and drop any icons you want in or out of your toolbar. This allows for many possibilities like adding buttons to show the file path of your selected file in one click, eject disks, or even a shortcut for airdropping your current file, which is a huge time saver. And the same goes for Safari. Again, if you go to View and then Customize Toolbar, you can add options to zoom, attach the current website to an email, or go back to your start page. It's amazing how much more efficient you can be when you have the tools you need right at your fingertips. Now, let's stay in the Safari app, because you too could make use of a few simple keyboard shortcuts that have saved me a ton of time in the recent years. First up, to start typing in the search bar at the top of the screen, you don't have to click it. Just hit Command and L, standing for link, and start typing. Next, if you want to open a new tab, hit Command and T, standing for tab. And finally, to quickly switch between different open tabs, just hit Command and the corresponding number. Command and 1 for the first tab, Command and 2 for the second tab, and so on. You get the idea. Very quick. And even quicker are the following keyboard shortcuts to get to some of the most used system settings. If you hold down the Option key and press one of the brightness function keys, you'll be taken instantly to the display settings. Likewise, if you hold down Option and hit one of the volume keys, you'll be taken straight to the audio settings. And to access the appearance settings, just hit Option and Mission Control. Great. And maybe a bit less functional but quite cool to know is that you can easily change your folder icons on your Mac. I researched this trick early on because I got bored of the default always baby blue folder icons. All you have to do is find a new folder icon, which can basically be any image you like, and then save it to your Mac. Next, select the folder you want to customize, right-click and choose Get Info. This will bring up this info view where you can drag and drop your chosen image onto the folder icon at the top. And just like that, your folder has a brand new look. And this changed icon trick can really come in handy with the next tip. If you want quick access to a website you use frequently, add a website shortcut to your dock. To do this, go to your browser, open the website and drag and drop its link from the search bar onto your desktop. At first, it might look a bit ugly, so you can download an icon for the website to make it look more like an actual app. When done, right-click the website shortcut on your desktop and again select Get Info. You can drag and drop the new icon onto the old link icon to give it a more polished look. Now open your website right from there in your default browser. Simple but pretty cool, and I think we can agree that if there's one golden rule for Mac users, it's this. Use Spotlight Search. No, really, use Spotlight Search. I know it's been said before, but seriously, it makes working on the Mac so much easier. And not for the reasons you might think, because there's a lot more to it than just searching for applications or files. For example, did you know you can use it for currency and unit conversions? Pounds to euros, kilometers to miles, whatever it is, you can use Spotlight Search. And if you need to perform simple mathematical calculations, Spotlight Search has got you covered there too, replacing your actual calculator app. But that's not all. You can also use it to get weather information for any city in the world. Just type weather followed by the city name and it will give you the current weather conditions. And if you're ever stuck on the meaning of a word, Spotlight Search can clarify it for you. Just type in the word and hit Command and D, standing for definition, to instantly see the dictionary. Overall, of course, for the simple things like opening apps or looking for files, Spotlight Search is way quicker than any other browse feature on Mac. So I'd recommend discovering it as much as possible. And whilst talking about the nitty-gritties of macOS, there's no way to leave out copying and pasting, which can indeed get very frustrating. We've all been there. You copy some text from Wikipedia to use in your homework assignment and paste it into your stunningly formatted Word document. And oops, the text looks like it's taken straight from a Wikipedia page, which of course it is. Instead of fixing it by changing the font, text size and everything else every time this happens, start pasting unformatted. First, copy the text like you normally would. Then when you go to paste it, either click on Edit in the menu bar and look for Paste and Match Formatting, or use the keyboard shortcut Shift, Option, Command, and V. This works anywhere on your Mac and inserts the text in the formatting style of your current document. Okay, next. There's been a really cool but badly understood feature in Safari for a long time, and when I finally figured out how it works, it really sped up my web searches. Safari knows on which websites you normally search for stuff. For example, if you want to search YouTube for Apple event videos, instead of opening YouTube, waiting for it to load, and typing in Apple event into the search bar, you can use the quick search feature. In the Safari search tab, just type in YouTube and Apple event. The first option will read Search YouTube for Apple event. Select it and hit enter, and you'll instantly get to the YouTube search results. Lovely. And what's also lovely is being able to let your Mac summarize any text passage for you without any fancy apps or AI tools like ChatGPT. Just reduce the text to any length you want, making it simpler and easier to understand, all natively on your Mac. If you want to know where to find that feature, watch this video next and discover 9 additional magically useful Mac features you perhaps didn't know about. I will see you there. Thank you so much for watching and have an amazing day.